the two nationalist men announced Indonesia independence, declaring it an independent republic. Once word was out of independence, the two nationalist men announced Indonesia independence, declaring it an independent republic. Once word was out of the Japanese surrender to the Allied force on August 17, 1945, the proclamation of an independent republic was not quite so simple, tough, and sparked a series of clashes between the Indonesian and the colonizing force of both the British and Dutch. The British were less compelled to fight again, eventually withdrawing as the Dutch stepped in to try and retake their former possession. After repeated failure, unsuccessful police action, and growing condemnation from the far west, such as the As at Long final in the very last week of 1949, the Dutch recognized Indonesia. That the following years marked a time of political and constitutional development accompanied by agricultural and economic ups and downs, as well beginning versus parliamentary democracy, subsequently following what then President Sukarno called a guided democracy started in February of 1957. The republic then fell into hands of dictator former General Suharto in 1966, before finally returning to democracy as of 1999. These days, Indonesia is still growing and growing as an independent country. An overall population of approximately 273 million people in 2020. The Republic of Indonesia is now led by their 7th President Joko Widodo of PDIP, or Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle.
Based on its geographical location, the Indonesia archipelago is between the continents of Asia and the continents of Australia, as well as between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Indonesia, which is located between the two continents and the ocean, allow it to become a crossroad of both traffic, both air and sea traffic. Indonesia has about 17,064 islands, but 60,000 of which are hybrid permanently, spread around the equator, providing tropical weather. The most population island in Indonesia of Java, where more than half, 65% of Indonesia population. Indonesia consists of 5 major islands, namely Java, Sumatra, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, and Irian Jaya. And the Ceres Island too is also known as the archipelago.
Demography are any writing about people or human population. From KBBI, demography is the science, the order, number, and development of the population. Demography Indonesia includes studies of Indonesian population, which now in 2020, Indonesian population is like 237.64 million according to census in 2020, which is ranked 4th of the list country with the largest population from 1961 until 2020. Indonesia is still growing up. The population is not even getting any tinier. It's just getting bigger and bigger, like 2% or 1%. And in Indonesia too, we have many ethnic groups. In total, there are 1,340 ethnic groups according to the BPS 2010. And the composition of this cultural diversity is a blessing for our economy, Indonesia, because where various tribes have their own characteristics, which cause millions of foreign tourists to come to Indonesia, making the tourism sector is one of the most important foreign exchange earners. But there's a problem too, because of the existence of many different beliefs, religion, ethnicities, tradition, and culture does not deny the occurrence of the clashes between groups that have different ethnicities or religion. This means that Indonesian population is still dominated in the western and not in the eastern with just a little population. We can conclude that the concentration of population in Indonesia is in Java. Is this make Indonesia a developed country? No, not totally not, because we still have many issues about these many people in like inequality of Indonesia, which is very dense in Java but very rare in Maluku and Papua. Like 56.1% people all over Indonesia live in Java, but just 3.71% people live in Papua and Maluku. And you can see clearly that the Papua is the biggest island in Indonesia. And this kind of problem makes many problems, like a distribution of economic activity is still uneven, is still a concentrate in Jakarta or major city in Java Island, and our population pyramid shape is still cone shaped, which means that the group of children and adolescents still very large. However, our government has a solution about this problem, which they are establishing a KB program, have a legislation of law marriage, and a restriction on benefits.
Now, the general definition of form of governance. Form of governance is a structural construct of a system that a nation has as a way to organize their constitutional legislative policy. A system of government also distributes power among different parts and levels of the state. Political scientists study the uses of power, including how power is being distributed within the state itself. The amount of power held by the central government determines by the system of government that the state provides. And then there is the worldwide varieties of governmental configuration. Governmental configuration generally consisted out from two things. The first one being is the economical system, and the second one being the political system. Both systems are very often to completely balancing the gap between each other, or both are complementary. The political systems are included as democracy, monarchy, theocracy, dictatorship, transitional oligarchy, and aristocracy. The economical systems are included as capitalism, communism, socialism, fascism, and also anarcho-primitivism.
Its president has strong position and can be deposed by low subjective such as low political support, but there's still a mechanism to control and depose the president. The presidential system is separating the executive and legislative institution to improve equity of every areas with their own representative houses. And to prevent the condition that is stated by John Edward Acton, he said, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The absolute power can be given to one party because there must be personal interest takes role in the powerful government decision, so that Indonesian government using the bicameral system that divides government into several boards. Those are legislative, judicial, and executive with its own duty. The provisions for every predefined field are written in the UUD 1945. The fields are government administration, legislative, judicial, military, international relation, emergency authority, authority to appoint the state official. Provisions for every predefined field are written in the UUD 1945. The fields are government administration, legislative, judicial, military, international relation, emergency authority, and authority to appoint the state official.